You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box.
Eagles, Giants, 4 o'clock, 4:25, whatever. Home game against the Giants. The Italians coming to town, Tommy DeVito. We felt good going into this. They were 11.5 when we did the podcast. They wound up ballooning up to 14-point favorites by the time the game started, which they, of course, did not cover. But overall, I would say I don't want to go through the whole game. If you didn't watch the game, then just brush up on it, because I used to do these like hardcore breakdowns where I'd go from like drive to drive, and like no one really cares. I mean, you watch the game, you know what happened, okay? I would just say overall, I thought the offense played pretty good. I think the team itself played pretty good. I think the score is not necessarily indicative of really what happened on Sunday. Or I keep saying Sunday, but it's a fucking Monday game, which is weird. But you know, what was it, 33-25? The pick six was kind of somewhat fluky, right? It was,
very.
Goddard slipped, and it was the right throw, right kind of decision. Maybe it would have got knocked down, but it wouldn't have been a pick six had Goddard stayed on his feet. It's kind of just a fluky, weird situation. And the other kind of, I'm forgetting to mention the fact that Zacchaeus just truck sticked Boston Scott on a kickoff to start the second half. And that kind of sent us down to in a little bit of a tailspin, because it looked like we were about to walk away with this game. We were up, 20? Was it 20-3?
20-3, yeah.
20-3 at halftime. It's like, all right, we're good. And then right away, we get the ball. It's like, dude, this game's over. We go down and get any sort of points here, this game is over. No, Zacchaeus, he took some sort of envelope. He said, you know what, dude, I'll get us this ball back. He's like, I couldn't get the kickoff myself, but I'll fucking run Boston Scott over. And Boston Scott gets run over. Drops the ball, fumble. Giants get the ball, go in, score. And, they score 15 points in that third quarter. It started to get real hairy here. And this that is the best way that I can explain it. DeVito gets taken out at a certain point. He was 9 for 16 with 55 yards. I think he had a couple sacks, again, which isn't necessarily against him. They ran the ball 23 times to Saquon Barkley for only 80 yards. I think overall, Ty, the Eagles' defense played good. I'm not mentioning the Darius Slayton. I think it was a 69, 70-yard bomb that he caught that left Reed Blankenship in the fucking dust, chasing after him, and that was, it was a little too late there. But all in all, Ty, I would say the offense looked much better in this game. I think they had around or close to 500 yards of offense. And I think that is a positive. I know they were playing the Giants. I'm not saying it's the greatest thing ever. It's not, we're not fixed. It's not, it's not all is not right in the world. There are plenty of problems, and we'll get into it. There was arguments on the sideline. There was a lot of different stuff. A.J. Brown continues to try and make everything about him, which I just, I'm starting to actually appreciate how much he is such a diva and a crybaby. That it's like it's become almost endearing to me now. But all in all, Ty, the defense I thought played pretty good. What they only gave up, a little bit under 300 yards of offense. They started to get cooked a little bit when Tyrod Taylor took over. He was 7 for 16, 133 yards. He did throw a pick. I don't remember who he threw that pick to.
Keely Ringo at the end of the game.
Oh, that's right, at the very end of the game. Correct. So
that's Keely Ringo.
Keely Ringo has kind of been the surprise star, I guess, of the, or just, I guess, just kind of a emerging star for this team. He has well surpassed any expectations that people may have set out for him when he got drafted. And I remember when they traded up to get him, and it was like he's kind of like a a development sort of player. We're not going to see a lot from him this season, but I mean, what is he? He's only 22. He's like a young kid, right? He's like 21. I know they were saying he was younger than, so they would have more time to develop him. But, man, Ty, he's looked good. He's wearing that 22. The 22 fits him well with that pick six Asante Samuel style of play. But
better than 37 that he wore.
That thing was ugly. But all in all, Ty, I thought they played well. I thought it was I'm not feeling great. I still don't feel good about this team. But a win is a win, and I can't. I found myself getting all angry on Monday. It was just like, fucking, we should have blown these guys out, and this and that. And then you start to look at the game, you start to, all right, like, you feel a little bit better. Like, Jalen looked good. Jalen's still not throwing the ball down the middle of the field. If you look at the the spray chart, kind of, it's all on the outside of the numbers, which is still a big concern. But, Swift got it going, and AJ Brown, Devontae Smith did their thing. So all in all, it was a pretty good game.
I needed AJ to outscore Devontae. I think by a couple points, or I needed him to keep it close. And in the first half, he didn't do shit, so I was very nervous for my one fantasy matchup. But he pulled through, and the offense I guess was humming a little bit. Brian Johnson is really just holding us back completely. And what else can you say? The voices are going to keep getting louder each game, and especially as these stakes get higher. Like once we get in the playoffs, and he keeps calling the screens to Julio Jones on 3rd and 10, like there's going to be a lot of people calling for his job after this year, especially if we have a disappointing end to the season. So that's just something that we're going to have to just deal with. Honestly, there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, you can take away the play calling duties if you want, but like, who are you going to give them to? Nick Sirianni? I fucking hope not. He was getting into it with, I think it was DJ Elliott, the linebackers coach. Shout out to Kansas. He used to be the DC there. So, Rock Chalk Jayhawk, baby. And then I saw Devontae Smith trying to not intervene, but he was also involved in the conversation. Who knows what it was about? Then I saw a still shot of AJ Brown's like looking, like kind of peering over at Sirianni. So who knows? I see people saying like Sirianni might have lost the locker room, or he might lose the locker room. And I don't know if he has yet, but I could see it happening. Honestly, I could see that happening 100%. We've seen it happen with his team before.
Yeah. Ty, let me ask you a question though. Like, do you like? What would that be more indicative of him, or would that be the fact that these players are so like? You guys went to the Super Bowl last year. You were easily the best team in the league. You're still 11-4. I get you're not playing at the level that you want to, and yada yada yada. But I mean, at the first hit of adversity, you're all going to turn your back on him. Like, what does that say more? Is it more of a Sirianni is just not a good coach, or is it that these players are all soft?
It might be a little bit of both. I think I don't know how many. Like, if there was like a coup, I don't know how many people would be behind it, other than AJ Brown, if he even was behind it. So I don't know if it speaks. I honestly don't know. I guess we'll have to wait for maybe we should text Josina Anderson, see what she has to say about this, see if she can get to the bottom of it like she did in 2017. But I think the defense is still my primary concern. I mean, we got some pressure. We had 18 pressures, 6 from Hassan Reddick, 3 from Sweat, 3 from BG, 0 from Jalen Carter, 0 from Jordan Davis. We traded up for Jordan Davis, and we took him over a very exceptional player at a position of absolute need, and that was Kyle Hamilton. And that doesn't look good. I don't like that decision at all. And people are going to say, "Well, Jordan Davis, he plays his role very well." And I don't know, man. I just don't know. I mean, his PFF grades have dropped from last year to this year. I don't notice him at all. Yeah. I don't notice him do anything in the run game really ever. I noticed 93 Milton Williams much more than I notice Jordan Davis or even Jalen Carter of the last couple of weeks. A lot of Bears fans have been talking a little chippy lately because the guy they drafted, Javon Dexter, he was kind of the opposite of Jalen Carter. He wasn't playing well in the first half of the year. Now he's playing really well. They think they have a steal there. Maybe Jalen Carter's hit a rookie wall. I can see it. He's young. He was always kind of raw with his pass rushing moves and ability to win. So I've seen him get stonewalled a bunch of times. I'm not worried about him necessarily, but the two Georgia boys, they're not playing well, but Keely Ringo is. So hopefully we get Nakobe Dean back. I wouldn't say we need him, but it would be really nice to have just a group of linebackers like Cunningham, Shaq Leonard, maybe even Ben Van Summer, who played pretty well. He had an 81.9 grade this week in 36 snaps. Just solid across the board, run defense. We missed 2 tackles that game. That was good to see. But we did have 2 turnovers. We did have 9 penalties. So we really still have to clean things up. And I really hate that we're at this point of the season and we have to clean things up. And we have to, we're hoping and praying that our coaching staff can get it together. It's like these things should have been hammered out in like week 9, 10. So, yeah, I mean, I guess if you look around the league, like almost every team is having some kind of adversity. Every team is, going through it. Brock Purdy just threw 10 picks this week. The Cowboys, now everyone's like, oh, is their season over? I'm like, Jesus Christ. I think they're still maybe the favorites to come out of the NFC, possibly, if all things are rolling. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So maybe it's not all bad for us because it's bad for everybody right now. I mean, what team is even? I guess the Ravens. They're the only team that's like hot right now that's not really worried about anything. And Lamar honestly should probably be the front runner for MVP. I think. I mean, the fact that he's doing all this. He doesn't have that many touchdowns, and people keep saying that, but Gus Edwards has like 7 1-yard rushing touchdowns, and Justice Hill is like 5 2-yard rushing touchdowns. So, he's doing it with an absolute decrepit Odell Beckham. Rashad Bateman, who hurts his foot every week. Zay Flowers, a solid rookie. Mark Andrews is done. They don't really have a good running back, so I think he should probably be MVP. Maybe Tyreek Hill, honestly. I mean, the Dolphins
or McCaffrey.
Or McCaffrey. Honestly, that is their MVP of that team.
100%. That's why I was always mad when people would say Brock Purdy. I'm like, dude, if they didn't have I guess that's easy to say about any team, but it just always felt like that team has such weapons. McCaffrey is such a difference maker, man. Like,
yeah. He's also MVP for pulling Olivia Culpo, so I can't be mad at him for that. But yeah, looking around the league, I think I'm starting to feel a little bit better, or at least not as bad about the Birds, just because everybody else has something going on. Everybody else is battling a huge weakness, but the turnovers and the penalties are really just something that cannot happen, and they keep happening. Especially opening the second half, you get the ball and then you give it right back to a team. Like, what if we were down 27-10, or what if we're down whatever score? Like, that shit like that can't happen. You know what I mean? Like the stuff that we did in the beginning half of the year, where we're down at half and we're the comeback kids. Like that shit like that will not fly in the playoffs. So definitely some things to clean up. I think the O line is starting to gel together a little bit. I think we're starting to slowly round into playoff form, but I definitely have my list of concerns.
Well, I'll tell you, one of my number one list of concerns is, Ty, can you tell me the last time Josh Sweat had a sack?
Was it against? I feel like I remember him doing the celebration, but I just don't know who it was against. Was it against the Bills?
No, he's had a couple tackles for loss, and I think that those will get you the old sweaty celebration. But
yeah,
Ty, in fact, he has not had a sack since November 5th against the Dallas Cowboys at home. That was the last time he had a sack.
Almost 2 months.
He has 6.5 sacks on the year. He was on a little bit of a tear early on in the season, and then it seems like he just hit a wall. And 6 straight games without a Josh Sweat sack. Reddick has 11 sacks, so he's not, having all that bad of a year. But
so nobody else really. Last year we had 5 guys with 10 or some shit like that.
And we had 70 sacks, I think, which was like a record for a whole team to have that many sacks, and it's just they have really fallen by the wayside this year. It's been a tough thing to see, but
it's kind of crazy, dude. None of our DBs have a sack.
No,
not one. That's I understand that they're DBs, but they blitz. It's a good thing to blitz your DBs, and we just have not. I guess. I mean, again, I think it's our greater issue as a team. I think is our coordinators. Both of them, I think, have had issues. And I just saw somebody tweet something about how we miss Jonathan Gannon. I was like, damn. I guess we kind of do. Like, I thought we were going to miss Shane Steichen, which we 1,000,000% do. But yeah, I mean. Again, we said this literally as soon as it happened last year, that losing both coordinators, no matter what kind of team you have, like that's going to hurt, man. That's going to suck. Like it happened to LSU when they won the national championship. They lost players and they lost coaches. And when you lose, coaches, you have to learn a whole new system to a whole new group of guys. And it hasn't gone well or smoothly, I guess, if you will.
I do like the feeling of the defense. Yeah, I have a better, I guess, a little bit more confidence in Matt Patricia's ability to kind of get these guys in the right. It seemed like with Sean Desai, they were just completely lost, right? I mean, and I just count that this team, this Eagles defense, gave up 9 points of honest, honest scores, because I mean the pick six. And the getting the ball on the 10-yard line, I don't count that as like that. Their
I mean, they
fault,
only had
basically.
200 yards of total offense, or 292. I'm sorry, but we had.
But still, a lot of that was like trash time. Like they were going up and down the field because they were throwing the ball constantly, and we
the
just
end
had
of the game, that drive where I did get a little nervous, but I was like,
I don't like that. We really are not good at the end. Like at the end of these games, these end of game drives, people really have their way with us, and.
I think Waller catch. I was like, I was furious. There was four guys right there. I was like, bro, what the?
And Waller honestly cost them that game because he was asking for a sub in that situation. Which, are you out of your fucking mind? Like,
Yeah,
dude, get up, bro. Get up, get on the line. They were going to spike the ball no matter what. You have to be aware a little bit of what the situation is. I get you got cracked, but come on, man. Like, that they burnt a lot of clock with that because they were all walking around. Then the ref came in, stopped them because they were going to sub, and then he didn't sub, and then he ran back over and lined up. It was.
I guess you could say he's soft as a plum if you get it.
Oh, shout out to Kelsey, but I did get that. There you go. I think, honestly, the Eagles would have been in trouble if Tyrod would have played this whole game because he was getting the ball where it needed to be. And
He was feeling himself.
yeah, Tommy DeVito was horrible.
Tommy Cutler. Dude, so yesterday at the bar, these Giants fans, all I hear is, dude, how great of a story, though, would it be if Tommy DeVito just became like a franchise quarterback? I think he can do it. And I'm like, I'm listening to this. I'm like, bro, he just got benched. Like,
Yeah.
it's a good story and all, but calm down.
Hey, man, I love a good Italian-American triumph story as much as the next guy. But it's not that ain't it. That's not going to happen. He'll be. I mean, he's not like. I mean, he's bad. He's bad. I was about to try and give him a compliment, but he's just not good. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was very I was sad when they took him out because I was like, oh shit, we might be in trouble here. Like, so.
But in this league that we have now with Aiden O'Connell's getting started, Easton Stick. What just happened this week? We have 3 new quarterbacks that are coming: Jacoby Brissett, whoever's on the
Stidham.
Broncos, Stidham, and somebody else. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But there's a lot of bad backup quarterbacks, third stringers, and whatnot. So Bailey Zappi's he's got people buying Zappy jerseys in New England. That's how much how desperate they are for a good quarterback. So yeah, I'm sure Tommy Cutlets can hang around for a little bit, but eventually when he throws 3 pick sixes in a row in a game or some shit, they're gonna run him out of New York or New Jersey, if you will. Yeah.
So after the
maybe
game,
he comes to Philly.
After the game tie, Eagles win 33-25, comes down to the very end, last drive, last play, last gasp. And it was close. Like, that play, like, they could have called pass interference to the back of the end zone there because I'm pretty sure Bradley Roby just annihilated somebody like in the back of the end zone while the ball was in the air. So it was like, I'm sitting there looking and I'm like watching people shake hands. I'm like, wow, they didn't throw a flag. There was a couple plays at the end of the game where I guess I'm just so conditioned to watching the NFL that, like, everything's a flag. So I just assume that they're going to throw a flag here. They're going to throw a flag here. Like, I guess I have to kind of get my brain out of that mode. But game was over. They won.
You are now listening to the Hot Take Hot Box.